So now we talked about the importance of HTTPS, and it kind of makes your website a real website, not just a toy one. So let's go ahead and implement it. To do that, we're going to use a really nifty service called Certbot. And then we're going to install Certbot. It's going to do all the work for us, where in the old days, we had to do a lot of copy pasting, Nginx configuration. It does all that for us, which again is the benefit of being on this paved road of Ubuntu and Nginx, a well-supported and well-trodden path. Then after that, all we have to do is open the firewall for ports. What's HTTPS? Anybody? Not 80.
443.
It's 443, that's right. It's one of the common ports. So if you click on the link or navigate to certbot.eff.org, and I just shortcutted to instructions. Certbot is run by the Electronic Frontier Foundation. If you've never heard of them, they're a very good organization. They fight for the users on the internet. They open lawsuits and privacy and things like that. It's probably one of the few charities that I donate to every one of my paychecks because I believe in their mission. And they're doing something like this. So if you go on Namecheap or DigitalOcean, they'll be like, hey, we can set you up on a HTTPS certificate, but it's going to cost you money. This will not cost you any money. So it's a fantastic organization. Donate if you'd like, but let's go make use of their software right now. So I'm going to click there, and it makes it so handy. So my HTTP website is running on Nginx. And look at all these other things we could be running. Apache, HProxy Plus. We're not. Nginx on Ubuntu 20. And it walks you through all the steps. So this uses something called Snap. And I played around with Snap when I was creating this course. I didn't find it super reliable, but we got to use it this one time to install Certbot. Snap is just a package manager, just like APT. But I'd say it's a little more janky. So we don't use it for most things, but we'll use it for this one. So we can just follow the instructions. So we're going to SSH into our server. We're probably already there. We're going to install snapd. It may already be installed by default. And then we're going to just use snap to install Certbot. So I think snap is installed by default, but I'm going to copy these commands just to make sure it's up to date. So SSH into my server. Yeah, I'm lazy. I'm telling you, I'm lazy. I will go through all my entire history to avoid typing 3 lines. So clear. Just going to paste those commands. Sudo snap install core, sudo snap refresh. This might take a few seconds. All right. Give you a second there. So next, we're going to remove Certbot. I don't think it exists already, but let's just be sure. Remove Certbots. Actually, I know for a fact it doesn't exist yet, but just in case. Maybe that's sudo. Oh. It's just saying remove from apt. So sudo apt get move certbots. Let's double check I'm reading these instructions correctly. Yeah, try that. Yeah, it wasn't installed, but it doesn't hurt to be. So now we'll use snap, that package manager. We say sudo snap install classic certbot. All right, it's installed, but it's not quite running yet. So we'll jump back here. And we're just going to make a logical link. That's the ln. We're going to link the binary of Certbot /snap bin is binary, Certbot to ourselves, the one that we own, /user binary bin Certbot. Pretty easy. If you want to see man ln, just makes links between files. Nothing, forget on Windows, it's like create shortcut, the equivalent of that. So now we're going to put this into easy mode. Sudo certbot -- nginx. It's going to do all the work for us. It's going to ask for an email address. I'm just going to say gem@gemyoung.com. Or you can use your new domain name if you have the email forwarding set up. Did I read the term of service? Nobody reads the terms of service. Do I want to sign up for the newsletter? No, I do not. Sorry, EFF. I love you, but I don't want another newsletter. And it's saying because it's reading our Nginx configuration, it sees we have two different types of servers. We have our default server. So in my case, it's gemstock.lol. Then we have that subdomain we created too. Do we want certificates for both? Of course we do. So we're just going to leave it blank. So what this is actually doing, because I've done this the hard way back in the day where I've had to do this all by hand before Certbot came around, is what it's doing is, one, it's adjusting our Nginx configuration. Actually, let's go look at it. Don't just take my word for it. Let's take a look at what it was doing. So sudo cats etc where Nginx is, sites enabled. And let's look at the full stack front end one. And there we can see that Certbot went in and changed our Nginx virtual host configuration. It didn't touch this part, but it did add the 443 listen on. So it created 443 port. It says SSL, secure socket layer, is the encryption technology. It adds a certificate. And a .pem it's sort of similar to an SSH key in terms of it's used as a key, but PEM files are used as certificates in this case. AWS, I think, still uses PEM files instead of SSH keys sometimes. Just a lot of background there. And then it created a certificate for us. It created a private key. And then it did something really nice, which is it added a redirect. So if someone connects to us on ports 80, it's going to redirect them to port 443. This is a nice to have. That way you're ensuring people are always using the HTTPS connection. But really what we missed out on is what Certbot does is it creates a certificate, it puts it in a certain directory. Then Certbot, as a certificate authority, someone that puts a stamp on your website that says like this is an official website, is it creates a file just to make sure you own the website. Something you don't think of is, yeah, what if I create a certificate for a website I don't own? At that point, I can intercept all the traffic because I'm just decrypting all their traffic. So it creates a temporary file in your file system, makes sure that you can connect to it, and just validates that you actually are the website requesting it. That's why we had to do all the website stuff earlier, where I said it didn't really matter until we got to HTTPS. Then we actually need a domain name because you can't do HTTPS over just an IP address. Pretty nice. So let's test automatic renewal because certificates have to be renewed over time. You can't just have one in perpetuity. It has to run every so often. Certbot will do this for us, but we just want to make sure that it all worked out. So we'll do a simulated registration here. All right, let's check this out. So let's go to gemstock.lol. We forgot to open the port. And all that, Certbot will not do that for us, which is probably good. You don't want something messing with your firewall. Fortunately, uncomplicated firewall makes it really easy. So we can just say sudo clear, sudo UFW, allow HTTPS, and we'll check sudo UFW status just to be sure. And we see port 443 is now open. So let's give this a shot again. Hey, it's all working too. What do you know? We got that nice little certificate there. We can even look at it. So that's pretty nice. It does so much work for us. So like all the work that goes on in the background, all the tweaking and moving around of files, Certbot does all that for us. So again, EFF is a really good organization. It helps us as software engineers. It really looks out. I recommend donating to them if you have the time and the money.